Hey guys, Thomas Facility Mustached Tom here to review a movie, I know. Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge. So, get ready for this. And if you end up enjoying this review, then consider joining me and supporting me on Patreon. Any donations are desperately needed. Alrighty, let's get into Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge. So, the movie starts out, oh, by the way, I'm going to say this now, spoilers. The movie's been out for a bit, but I'll still say it regardless. Anyway, as I was saying, the movie starts out with a father, Hanzo, talking to his son about scorpions and their willpower to survive. And as their little lesson in that is done, they return to their village. The father, seeing the suspicious emptiness of their village, moves with a bit of caution, and they are proceeded to be attacked by ninjas on another faction. And then the first 6 minutes of this movie, it proceeds to be better than both of the Mortal Kombat movies of the live-action variant. And in the first 6 minutes, it proves to be, again, just a better movie than those two. Fully understanding, I think, what Mortal Kombat is meant to be. A brutal fighting series of just endless violence. So, yes, there is some brutal action, decapitations, killings of variety. So, Hanzo is running for his life. They make it to this house where they see the son sees his mom's dead body. We see a figure that we as the audience would recognize as Sub-Zero freezing Scorpion. And what proceeds next is, again, among the brutalness, the son is killed in the process. Outraging Hanzo at the point, in which he is killed too. So you would think his life, or his story is over, but no, that is just the beginning. We cut to a separate story, involving Raiden, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade. So we're also kind of catching up with our regular heroes, and Raiden is getting ready to summon them for the next Mortal Kombat. And our heroes are characterized as such. Liu Kang is pretty much your average protagonist, fair to say. Sonya is a better Captain Marvel within a shorter span time of Captain Marvel. So you can get all of what Captain Marvel was attempting to do in less time, done better with Sonya Blade. So there you go. You can enjoy your woman power with Sonya Blade, because she does it. Does it good. And of course we have Johnny Cage, the total nonsense actor who's kind of running low on gigs to do, but he does get a phone call to get prepped to go to China, so he just heads out without really questioning it too much. Sonya, in the meanwhile, is fighting some bigger dude, and she totally KOs him, getting her own scroll and learning about something or other. I'm assuming it has something to do with something that happens later on, but I'll get to that later. So anyways, Hanzo awakens in the Nether Realm, or what he assumes to be Hell. And we see this orc character, ogre-like character. I'm not sure if this is a Mortal Kombat character, but he refers to Shinnok, which I do know. And he's proceeding to torture Hanzo. But Hanzo manages to lean the ogre in with a few cunning prayers, and he manages to break loose and cuts the ogre in half. More demons appear, and they seem upset. And they're all like, "Hey, there are a lot of us and only one of you," one of them says, and he proceeds to kill that demon, in which he retorts, "There's just one left." So they all charge in, and he reaches Quan Chi, another another Mortal Kombat character, and Mr. Quan Chi racks him up and tortures Hanzo for his demands of wanting to get home. But he tells him that Shinnok has this key that he desperately wants. So, with him being dead as Hanzo, he takes up the new name Scorpion. Meanwhile, we cut back to our heroes, which Johnny Cage still thinks that what is going on is a movie, and Raiden seems to be amused by this. Nonetheless, he tells Liu Kang that not to worry, that these fellow heroes and heroine are worthy of the Mortal Kombat. So, this movie, among doing other things, I also feel captures both of the other characters better in less amounts of time than the original Mortal Kombat movie. I remember Luke Cage, or Johnny Cage, being pretty well done in the original movie, but I totally forget what Sonya's deal was in the original movie. It's been way too long. I don't remember what her deal was, but what they do here with her is just it fits a lot better, I think, and it's a lot more straightforward. With her training in the army, getting recruited by a secret organization, and then wanting to protect Earthrealm, or just Earth. Anywho, so Raiden tells them that. Meanwhile, Scorpion makes his arrival as well. We see them traveling by boat to get to this location. And once they get there, they get to this manor of places where all these other creatures are there. And he tells the others about how this realm battle has gone on for, and so on and so forth, giving us the lore of Mortal Kombat. So while that's going on, Scorpion proceeds to sneak in and fight his way, getting to that key no matter what the cost. Meanwhile, we see another two Mortal Kombat characters, Kano and Jax, and then another one that's called out named Goro, the big guy with the four arms. So Jax is beaten down to a pulp. Meanwhile, while Scorpion's doing his little mission, Raiden interferes and tells him some sagely voice telling him that he has his choice of what he wants his path to be. And we cut back to Jax, who gets his arms ripped off because we know that to be that he has the metal arms. But Raiden appears, because this is technically not Mortal Kombat yet. The match hasn't started. So he's allowed to get in and heal up Jax just enough to keep him from bleeding out from his arms, or his missing arms in this case. So, with that being done, the fighters are sent off. We cut to Johnny Cage first, who's walking around, and I believe I'm not too familiar with this fighter. I think his name was Cabal. It's the creature with the spiked arms. I forget his name off the top of my head, and I do apologize. They don't say his name in the movie. So anyways, their fight takes place, and it's more of an environmental fight as they fight in this big building. The place catches on fire and proceeds to blow up with all this, all these explosions going off, and Johnny Cage manages to escape while leaving the creature behind to death. We cut to Sonya Blade, who is currently fighting an invisible enemy, and this invisible enemy turns out to be Reptile, who is actually a reptile, unlike the movie beforehand where he was more like a human that could turn into a reptile. I don't know. Anyway, she eventually gets him to fall in some mud while he was always being invisible. And once he is visible, she goes to town and is able to tear his head off. Meanwhile, this, I guess, Sub-Zero clone, question mark? I'm not sure who that was, but he was fighting Scorpion, so of course Scorpion slays him pretty quickly, thinking that he probably was Sub-Zero at the time. Meanwhile, Liu Kang is fighting Katana, and she, like the movie previously, yields to him, which means she submits and gives up and so on and so forth. So, all the while, Raiden and Shang Tsung are talking about how their warriors each will be the ones that are going to be the ones that are victorious. So, Sonya manages to find Johnny, and Johnny's ego is still on top of the world. And Liu Kang finds the two of them, and thus Scorpion's killing spree, as he appears to them a little bit more, continues. So they bump into Scorpion, and the four of them kind of just are like, we're kind of all here now. But Raiden proceeds to warn the four of them that there are some outside interferences about the Mortal Kombat, and that they should be ready for that. So Scorpion leaves and heads out, and the others are surrounded. But it appears that Scorpion just managed to sneak his way into the ranks and started his re-killing count. All the while, Liu Kang gets in some action, and the Sub-Zero that we saw appears, and Scorpion attacks. This appears to be the real Sub-Zero, and thus Scorpion proceeds to knock him off of a ledge, impaling them both on this pike. So he was willing to re-kill himself in order to get his revenge. Meanwhile, Kano is trying to leave with Jax. So Sonya goes after the two of them, and Johnny's like, she's hot, so I'm gonna totally go for her. That's his deal, Anyway, so Quan Chi starts to talk about the truth about how he did the whole Sub-Zero thing at the beginning of the movie. So it was actually Quan Chi all along that was the one that killed both Scorpion's wife and kid. All the while, Sonya Blade is trying to attempt to save Jax. And at first she's doing a pretty good job. Meanwhile, Goro is summoned to fight Liu Kang. Keep wanting to say Luke Cage, but whatever. Anyway, so Quan Chi is trying to poison Shang Tsung. Meanwhile, Johnny Cage joins Sonya to assist her in battle, and she's actually quite surprised that Johnny actually knows how to fight really, really well. So they head into battle together, and they both assist in saving Jax, and Jax proceeds to make sure that Kano has nothing more to say. So the three of them head out together. All the while, we cut back to Goro, who's looking like he's ready to take down Liu Kang. But Shang Tsung finds out Quan Chi was trying to poison him, and before proceedings can proceed even further, Scorpion rips out Goro's head with his classic weapon of the chain weapon. So Scorpion, in a surprise move, yields, which means by technicality, Earthrealm has won, because he was representing the other side, and he was the only warrior left on the Outworld side. So he yields, which is again, surprise move. And it catches Shang Tsung off guard anyway. So this allows Raiden to move in now that the fight is over, because Shang Tsung wanted to do a bit more, and they do their thing. And Scorpion is left to face off with Quan Chi, the one who killed his wife and son. So the two clash in an epic fight, and Scorpion proceeds to take off his head and to reveal the skeletal figure that remains. And again, within the epic fight, Scorpion says his vintage line of "Get over here." So Scorpion gets his fatality. Quan Chi is forced to return to the Nether Realms, or wherever he ended up going, and he is placed back to his master, which again, his name also escapes me. I think they said it once in the movie, but I totally missed it. Anyway, that was Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge. And boy, oh boy, again, in the first 6 minutes, this felt like the most Mortal Kombat movie of the Mortal Kombat movies. And the movie ends with a potential for a sequel, which, assuming, based off the title, with it being Legends, I'm assuming they can just continue to do a character-by-character introduction to whatever. With this being Scorpion's tale, as I've been told, this is pretty damn accurate to the in-game lore of Mortal Kombat. Now, I'm not as familiar with Mortal Kombat lore as I would like to be. I've played the earlier games, but I have not kept up with Mortal Kombat all too well. But I gotta say, in terms of adaptation, this is, again, from what I've been told, pretty close to 1-to-1 from video game to movie. So I think I have the honor of saying that in terms of video game adaptations, I think Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge has finally topped Silent Hill, which to me was always the closest adaptation from video game to movie. Now, I'll also say, on top of that, I also feel like Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge also tops Sonic the Hedgehog of being the best video game movie currently. I think Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge is the best video game movie we currently have now. That is how far I'm willing to say in terms of this movie. It is phenomenal. It doesn't hold back. It knows it's Mortal Kombat, which is saying a lot considering the first two movies and what they were willing to accomplish. Um, it is brutal. It is non-stop action. We get just enough of the characters, just enough of the lore that it's not overwhelming, but it's just enough to be like, yeah, that's the character, that's that character, yep, those are the characters I recognize. And it's so consistently doing this throughout the entire movie. And it's nice, and it's fluid, and it's well animated as well, among other things. It's just goddamn. I'm blown away. This movie is just great. Goddamn. I'm gonna give this movie, and I haven't done this since Joker, a 10 out of 10. I'm sold. I want more Mortal Kombat movies right now. Like goddamn. I want more Mortal Kombat right now. But I'm willing to wait. But still, I think everything's just so solidly done. It understands the material so well, and it makes sense with Ed Boon being a consultant on the movie. They really paid attention, and I'm really glad that they did. It really pays off. Um, in this instance, it really follows through on what Mortal Kombat should have been all that time ago. If this came out when the original Mortal Kombat movie came out, I think a lot more people would be like, yeah, we want way more Mortal Kombat. But it is what it is. Fantastic movie. If you have not checked it out, even if you are not a fan of Mortal Kombat, well, I mean, you probably would be anyway, but and if you don't mind a lot of blood and gore, then this is a high level recommendation coming from me. If you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, you should definitely have already watched this movie, um, because it will fulfill that desire 100%. Uh, it will leave you satisfied. And that is all I really have to say about Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. So, if you enjoyed this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. And when you head over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donations are greatly appreciated. Until next time, everyone, bye bye.